Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
At this time, I'd like to call the Nash County Board of Commissioners meeting to order for September the 9th. It is customary for us to begin each one of our meetings with a prayer by a city commissioner. During this time, you're certainly welcome to stand and join us in that prayer. You're welcome to use it for your own prayer, or you're welcome to use it for a moment of silence, whatever way you're led this morning. And after the prayer, we'll have a pledge of allegiance to the flag led by Commissioner Outlaw. And at this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Fred Belfield to lead us in the prayer. Mr. Belfield.
All right, let's all stand. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Heavenly Father, we come before thee today just thanking you for another day. Thanking you for waking us up, clothing our right minds, and starting us on our way. Heavenly Father, we are here with our September monthly commission agenda. As we go through this agenda, Father, we pray that you will touch our minds, our hearts, that we do the right thing. Have a good discussion, and not only that, make the right decisions. Bless us as we continue with this meeting. These blessings we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Would you join us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioners. We're now on item number 4, which is the minutes for the previous month. We had one official meeting in the month of August, and it was August the 5th. And you have your minutes on your tablets or in your packet. And at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve, add to, or any corrections that may be in the minutes.
Move for approval.
Have a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, have a motion to approve by Commissioner Outlaw, a second by Commissioner Belfield. Any questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. We are now, ladies and gentlemen, under item 5, which is public comment. And during this period of time, each first meeting of the month, the Board of Commissioners is glad to hear from anyone that has something on their mind they'd like to bring to us that is not otherwise covered on the agenda. If it is on the agenda, we'd ask that you wait until that time to bring it up. And we do have a sign-up period out front that closes at the time the meeting starts. I did not have anyone to sign up this morning, but our board is excited to hear from our citizens. So if there's anyone here that wishes to speak about an item not on the agenda that didn't realize you needed to sign something, we'd certainly be glad to hear from you at this time. Anyone wish to speak to the board? Seeing no movement, I do have one item that I need to address. Give me 1 second. Let me find it in all my paperwork. Under public comment, the general statute says that our board is supposed to hear from anyone that wishes to come and speak to the board. And then we have our own policy, and our policy says basically that you would be present and you would appear at the podium. In the past, just a few times, we have actually read a letter that may have been submitted. After further thinking about that and attending an additional class fairly recently, that's probably not something we should continue to do for many reasons. If you think about it, anyone can mail in a letter of any kind and want it read under public comment, but the general statute actually says you would appear in person. I did have one letter submitted through the manager's office that she gave me this morning. I'm going to choose to read that letter And at the same time, I'm choosing to read that letter because it affects Nash County greatly, as you will see when I read the letter. But also, it's just an important item at the present time that we're in. But at the same time I do that, I'm going to also say we will not be doing that moving forward. Actually, Mr. Attorney, if you don't mind, I'd like for you to review our public comment policy. It states in there that speakers must make presentation from the podium. That is clear to me, but it may not be clear to everyone on the board. It may not be clear to the public. But if we could just have you to present something back to the board that makes that clear. And I did have a discussion with Mike this morning, and we are in agreement on the fact that you should be appearing in person.
Correct.
And once the board gets the revision, we can then discuss it as a board and decide if that's what we wish to do. And I certainly think we should do that because it's so open-ended not to do it that way. But the letter we received came from Chase Batts, if you don't mind me reading the letter, who is the chief of the Momire Fire and Rescue Squad. And what he says is, I am writing this letter in regard to the vacant Emergency Services Director position. I would encourage you all to fill this position in which former ES Director Tony Cameron was in. Myself, the fire chief of, and the members of the Momire Volunteer Fire Rescue Department feel that this position should be filled immediately. We need a person that can best represent our county in emergency services needs to represent all the county fire and rescue departments. The Emergency Services Director needs to be able to hear our issues as they arise and to address those issues with the appropriate emergency areas, including EMS, Fire Marshal, and 911. This person must have expertise, thorough understanding of fire, rescue, emergency medical services to help keep all of us safe and to support operational needs. We all know that fire and rescue as a whole are struggling countywide with volunteers, and the county and statewide EMS is struggling with keeping personnel staffed. By filling the ES Director position, it will not only help fire departments and EMS, but could help recruit paid staff and volunteers for these areas. I think that if the Emergency Services Director position stays open and you are to need to take an issue from one of the departments to the county manager's office, that there is a good chance the issue will be overlooked. When you have adequate, trained, and expert upper management, things seem to operate a lot more efficient, excuse me. As the demand for emergency services in our county has increased, the demand, don't read in public a lot, as you can see, as the demand for emergency services in our county has increased, the paid and volunteer participation has decreased. The management and oversight of the department is dwindling. For many, many years, Nash County has had both an emergency services director, but also an assistant or deputy ES director. Our ES department in Nash County is currently without a director and the assistant or deputy director. And it appears that no plan to refill these roles. As population grows in the county, we need someone that is visionary, that can help lead us into the future. Please note that my department has a big concern on this matter and would like to have one-stop shop that can represent all the departments in Nash County and can lead us into the future. Please take this request to fill the Emergency Services Director role promptly into consideration on behalf of the Momire Fire Rescue and all rescue departments countywide, as other chiefs have reached out. Thank you for your time and consideration. And what I'd like to do is just ask the manager if she would be in touch with this Mr. Bass and have a conversation about his concerns and where we currently are on that, if you would do that for us. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. We'll now move on to item number 6, which is introduction of Eric Mendez, Strategic Project Coordinator for Nash County. And I'll call on our manager, Stacy Sackler, to present this introduction. Good morning, ma'am, and good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. I am pleased to introduce to the board and our staff Eric Mendez. Eric is a strategic project coordinator with the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. You've been hearing for a couple of years about the association's Strategic Member Services, their SMS program. Eric Mendez is a Master's of Public Administration graduate and has been placed with Nash County, and he started with us last week on September the 4th. The Strategic Member Services program is meant to create a pipeline of qualified, experienced staff for the public sector. It's a mutually beneficial program for MPA graduates and local governments, whereby the graduate gets hands-on experience at the local government level and the government gets additional manpower. The ultimate end goal is to find permanent placement for the strategic project coordinator. We will see where this journey takes us. I'd like to introduce Eric and let him say a few words.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, Commissioners. It's great to see all of y'all this morning. So I've had the opportunity to meet a few of you individually, but I wanted to take this time to formally introduce myself and being able to provide a little bit of background about myself. So again, my name is Eric Mendez. I'm originally from the small town of Franklin, North Carolina, all the way out west. Bonus points if you can point it out on a map. I've spent most of my life in the mountains, but recently this July I made the move to the city of Wilson. So it's a huge move. I'm still getting adjusted to not only the climate, but how flat the land is out here. And I've been enjoying exploring this side of the state, getting to see the eastern part of the state, and it's slowly but surely starting to feel like home. I graduated from Western Carolina University, where I got both my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. My passion for public service really kicked off during this time in my life when I had an internship with the city of Brevard, and I had the opportunity to help create a community garden project. So I helped gather the grant funding needed to build this community garden project, and today it's up and running. So seeing that project go from a thought on paper to a physical location, that's when I knew I really wanted to one day become a county manager myself and continue that public service. But outside of work, I really enjoy running, hiking, anything outdoors, and spending time with my family. My younger brother had recently made me an uncle to a soon-to-be niece, so I hope to spoil her soon. But I'm excited about the work that I'll be doing in Nash County, and I hope to get to know and work with each of you individually, and look forward to what Nash County holds for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you joining us, and certainly look forward to working with you. Have been in a meeting or two with you already, and you do a great job at the podium, so you got that behind you already. So, wonderful.
There'll be plenty more meetings to come.
Yes, sir, it will be. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item number 7, which is tax assessor appointment and the oath of office, and I'll call on our manager, Stacy Sapsler, to make this appointment,
Thank you.
to
and I'll
present this
invite
appointment anyway.
Marion to join me here this morning. And-
Good morning.
Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. Just making sure we've got all the players in the room here.
I think we need to call for the motion first, probably, to do that, and then have her sworn in, if that's okay, and I'd entertain a motion to approve the appointment of the tax assessor at this time.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Combs. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Proceed with the oath of office. Ms. Davis, good morning.
Morning. All righty. You want to just read your oath there? Put your left hand on the Bible. Yeah, right hand on the Bible.
I, Marion Cascone, do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support and maintain the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of North Carolina, not inconsistent herewith, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as acting tax assessor of Nash County, North Carolina, and that I will not allow my actions as tax assessor of Nash County, North Carolina, to be influenced by personal or political friendships or obligations, so help me God.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sign your name right there.
That looked like a fancy signature you had there.
It's from years of signing appraisals.
Years of signing appraisal, understood.
All righty.
Well, this board has said it before, we'll say it again this morning. We thank you for joining us here in Nash County and look forward to working with you. I have heard several people make comments to me in recent days about how well you did where you came from. I'm not going to say where you came from, 'cause, we don't like to hire adjoining counties people, but I stay out of that as well as the board does. So welcome to Nash County.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Commissioners. Have a wonderful day.
All right, item number 7, Madam Manager, if you will stay up at the podium, is the resolution approving the appointment of Mary Hogan as Finance Director.
Yes, sir. The North Carolina General Statute specifies and directs that each local government shall appoint a finance officer to hold the office and carry out the duties prescribed by law. And we have a resolution for the board to consider. It's a resolution approving the appointment of Mary Hogan as Finance Director. Whereas the North Carolina General Statute 159-24 specifies and directs that each local government shall appoint a finance officer to hold the office and carry out the duties prescribed by law. Whereas Nash County operates under the Commissioner-Manager form of government, and the County Manager of Nash County is granted authority under General Statute 153A-82 to appoint the finance officer. And whereas the County Manager is of the opinion that Mary Hogan possesses the requisite, knowledge, experience, and qualifications to serve as the Nash County Finance Officer, and has appointed Mary Hogan to the position of Finance Director effective August 26, 2024. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Nash County as follows. 1, that Mary Hogan was appointed as the Nash County Finance Director with full power and authority to act on behalf of Nash County in accordance with applicable law. 2, that this appointment is contingent upon Ms. Hogan's compliance with North Carolina General Statute 159-29 fidelity bonds, which requires that the finance officer of each local government give and maintain a true accounting and faithful performance bond. 3, that day-to-day administration authority over the position of Finance Director is and shall be vested in the position of its county manager, and the county manager has authorized to the details of Ms. Hogan's employment with Nash County, including salary and benefits within the parameters of her personnel record. 4, all acts and doings of Nash County officers, employees, and agents of the county, whether taken prior to, on, or after the date of this resolution, that are in conformity with and in the furtherance of the purpose of the intents of this resolution, as described above shall be, and in the same hereby are, in all respects ratified, approved, and confirmed. And 5, that this resolution shall be effective as of August 26, 2024, adopted this 9th day of September 2024.
Could we ask her to come forward? when we approve?
Well, I'm trying.
It's not as easy as it looks like to read in
Yes,
public, is it?
Well, and I think there's a lot of legal language there, it sounded like. Yes, sir.
All right, this time I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read by our manager.
Move for approval.
I think I had about at least half of us make that motion. I've been pointed out. Gwen, you're being pointed at, so I'll say you made the motion.
I'll defer to Sue and I second.
All right. If you two ladies decide how you want it done, I'll be glad to do it. Commissioner Leggett made the motion. It was seconded by Commissioner Wilkins. Any questions on that motion? All in favor of that motion, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? The motion hereby carries, and good luck, ma'am. Again, glad to have you as well.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Look forward to working with you.
Thank you.
Very important role, as they all are. All right, to keep us moving along, Somebody asked what time we'd get out today. I don't remember which commissioner, and I promised him a certain time, so I'm going to keep it moving. But item number 9 is where we are on the agenda, and it is an amendment to an interlocal agreement with the town of Nashville regarding recreational services in the town of Nashville. And I'll call on Thomas Gillespie at this time to lead us through this item. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Nash County and the town of Nashville has had an interlocal agreement since 2019 in regards to Glover Park and recreation programs in the town of Nashville. Currently, the agreement reads under Section 1E, to avoid the duplication of program offerings, Nash County should not offer any programs other than youth and adult recreational team athletic programs within the city limits of the town of Nashville. And the town of Nashville should not offer any youth or adult recreational team athletic programs within the city limits of the town of Nashville. With the possibility of Nash Arts merging or operating under Nash County Recreation and Senior Services, this causes conflict within the interlocal agreement since Nash Arts offers a variety of arts and cultural programs. The proposed amendment to the interlocal agreement changes Section 1E to read, town and county departments should meet quarterly to discuss programming offered by both parties and to avoid the duplication of programming within the city limits of the town of Nashville. The amended interlocal agreement was approved by the Town of Nashville Council on August 6, 2024. My recommendation today is for the board to approve an amendment to Section 1E in the interlocal agreement between the town of Nashville and Nash County, and I will be willing to entertain any questions that the board may offer.
Thomas, are you prepared to go over with us in a few words what the change is? Can you explain what the change is?
To the agreement?
Yes, sir.
So the only change to the agreement is there's been discussion about the arts, Nash Arts coming under Nash County Recreation and Senior Services. So to avoid the duplication of programs, myself and members of my department are going to meet with the town of Nashville quarterly along with members from Nash Arts to discuss upcoming programming for that quarter and the remainder of the calendar year. So if the Art Center is offering a program, we want to make sure the town of Nashville is not offering that same program during that same cycle.
So you'll be meeting every quarter?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any commissioner have any questions on this item?
The only question I have, I feel like we're being a little premature since the Arts Council has not decided to sign an agreement yet.
I think that was a request of them for us to, the Art Council itself requested us to look at this interlocal agreement with Nashville because it was in conflict. So it was at their request that we do this. That's why we're doing it, because they wanted that done in their consideration of the proposed policy that the manager has presented to.
So they are considering the proposed policy? I say
Yes.
considering.
They are considering, I'm
Okay.
certain, yeah. Well, I'm gonna let the manager speak.
Well,
She's more
if
involved
that
in
was
it.
their request, then fine.
Am I correct there, Madam?
It was their request. They felt like the interlocal agreement that our Parks and Rec Department currently had with the town of Nashville would limit them if they were to join in and become part of the county. So we met with the town manager and the Parks and Rec director for the town, along with the arts director and Thomas, and decided that they would meet quarterly to discuss their programming. And I believe Senior Services is going to be a part of that as
Correct.
well, so that they can all discuss their programming and their planning so that they're not duplicating services. And yes, they are currently considering the agreement that's been presented to them. I've been informed that we should know something from them after their October board meeting.
Mr. Belfield, do you have a question, sir?
Yes,
Are you fine, Ms. Wolf?
I'm good.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
You said that the town and the county staff will meet quarterly.
Yes, sir.
Is that enough to
I was thinking of,
avoid duplication? To me,
With most of the time,
avoid that, just meeting quarterly is not enough.
Well, most of the time in Parks and Recreation, we plan our programs by the quarter, so for the winter, the spring, the fall, the spring, the winter, the summer. So we try to plan them by the quarter. So I think that's enough time to meet. If we feel like we need to meet bi-monthly, we will make some adjustments to the agreement or plan on meeting bi-monthly once we meet quarterly.
Who's going to be running the activities that's going on, especially at Glover Park?
As far as the activities at Glover Park, we are responsible for all athletic programs at Glover Park.
Everything.
As far as athletic-wise, the town, if COI wants to have any special events or other non-athletic programs, we coordinate with each other on if the park is available.
Okay, if you're on a meeting quarterly, you certainly need, after a year, you certainly need to look at whether you need to make some changes
Yeah,
to
and
make things better and don't cause conflict.
yes, sir.
Other questions or comments?
I just wanted to clarify that this change has already been approved by the town of Nashville. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
No other questions, I'd call for a motion to approve the amendments to Section 1E in the interlocal agreement between the town of Nashville and Nash County.
Move for approval.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Leggett. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Combs. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 10 is fiscal year 2025 ambulance franchise agreement, final approval. You know, we had this on our agenda last month, and we do it 2 months in a row, and I'll call on Dale Griffin at this time to make the presentation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to the board. As you said, it is the second, has to come before the board twice, and this is our second appearance here. So it is the adoption of the 4 private ambulance services that provide convalescent transport within the county. My recommendation is to be approved. Any questions?
Any questions of Mr. Griffin at this time? Entertain a motion for approval.
Move approval.
Moved by Mr. Belfield. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Ayrton. Questions on that motion? Sir? Did you not second it?
No, I didn't.
I'm sorry. Seconded by Commissioner Outlaw. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sound like you went to a ball game Saturday.
Sir?
You sound like you went to a ball game something Saturday.
I did.
Item number 11 is a resolution of the Nash County Board of Commissioners to recognize September 2024 as Preparedness Month, and I'll call on Trip Bunn at this time to make this presentation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. This morning, I would like to present a resolution. The North Carolina Emergency Management and the state of North Carolina have collaborated to recognize September 2024 as North Carolina Preparedness Month to encourage all residents to be disaster ready. Nash County would like to recognize and bring attention to preparedness by presenting the following resolution for the board's approval. Bear with me because it's long. A resolution of the Nash County Board of Commissioners to recognize September 2024 as Preparedness Month. Whereas North Carolinians should be prepared for natural and man-made disasters as well as disease outbreaks. And whereas North Carolina is traditional an active state for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms with tornado touchdowns and straight-line winds causing severe damage in parts of the state this year. And whereas in 2023, the state experienced 24 tornado touchdowns, 139 flood incidents, and 844 severe thunderstorms with damaging wind and hail. And whereas last year, the National Weather Service in North Carolina issued 51 tornado warnings, 751 severe thunderstorm warnings, and 106 flash flood warnings. And whereas communities across the state have borne the impacts from wildfires, severe weather, damaging hail, high winds, and flooding. And whereas the Nash County Board of Commissioners supports our emergency services operations, first responders, and emergency management, where which prepare Nash County for those emergencies and respond in case of emergency. And whereas, every community, businesses, family, and individual in Nash County must be ready for natural man-made disasters, including tornadoes, flooding, hurricanes, public disturbances that might disrupt normal daily activities. And whereas, all Nash County residents can take a few simple steps, making a family disaster plan, creating an emergency supply kit, and staying informed to help make preparedness and personal responsibility a priority. And whereas, Nash County residents should know the risk for their area and plan accordingly. And whereas, the Nash County residents should help the elderly and those who cannot help themselves. And whereas, Nash County residents should include the safety of their pets and/or livestock in emergency plans. And whereas, Nash County, North Carolina Emergency Management, the state of North Carolina have collaborated to recognize September 2024 as North Carolina Preparedness Month to encourage Nash County residents to be disaster ready. Now therefore, be it resolved that Nash County does hereby recognize the month of September 24 as Preparedness Month and encourages all residents to plan and prepare weather-related and man-made disasters by assembling their emergency supply kits and updating their emergency plans. And I'll entertain any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Blunt at this time? Mr. Belfield?
The state and the counties, the state and counties, do they have any dry runs to make
Yes, sir.
sure they are
Yes, sir.
responding in an appropriate way?
We do. The state normally runs a quarterly, what they call CERT exercise, and we participate in those regularly.
Okay.
Other questions or comments?
That's what we need.
Commissioner Leggett?
I'd just like to say thank you for bringing this to us and bringing this to the forefront of everyone's mind.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't recall the part about the pets and animals being included before. It may have, but that would be a great addition to some people. I appreciate that being in there.
Yes, sir.
No other questions? I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read.
Make a motion, we approve the resolution.
I have a motion by Commissioner Combs, second by Commissioner Belfield. Any questions on the resolution? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Resolution carries, and thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you for what you do every day. Do I have a representative of the sheriff that's going to make presentation 12? Item 12 is a notification of a MAT grant award, and please state your name, sir, because I can't quite read that far.
Good morning, Commissioner Major Moore with the Nash County Sheriff's Office.
I knew that. Just needed to be prompted. Please proceed, sir. Thank you for being here.
All right, first of all, good morning, and thank you all for having me. The Nash County Sheriff's Office applied for a MAT grant from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety and was awarded $395,000 in July of this year. MAT stands for Medication Assistant Treatment Program. With this MAT grant, we're looking to be able to open up some of those options to inmates while they are incarcerated so that they can get connected with the proper resources while in the detention facility to help them with care once they are released from custody, and hopefully reduce the chance of reoffending. With proper continuation of medication and the utilization of resources, the MAP program has shown a 75% success rate for treatment in other counties and other facilities. The grant funding is to cover the medication and treatment of 15 patients weekly. The grant covers all startup costs, such as computers with web cameras, for inmates to remotely visit with clinicians. The grant also provides for 4 Cisco units with privacy enclosures, and the detention facility has designated a secured area for medication to be stored that will be monitored with cameras, have a safe, and require card access readers. The MAP program also provides for electronic medical record systems to assist with monitoring and involved with treatment. Lastly, the MAT grant also allocates resources for an additional LPN resource, a nurse. And the Nash County Sheriff's Office will reapply for the grant annually.
Any questions of Major Moore on this item?
Major Moore,
Yes, ma'am.
did I hear you correctly that y'all anticipate serving 15 patients a week with the
Yes,
program?
that's what the grant is allotted for, yes, ma'am. So sometimes it may be over, sometimes it may be under, but that's generally what the standard will be.
Very good.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
I'll just say this is an item that I'm very passionate about and tickled to death to see us doing that for the
Yes, sir.
people while we have them in our facility here, and it certainly gives them a much better chance of not revisiting this moving forward. If
Yes,
we
sir.
can
That's the
clean up
goal.
the lifestyle that they live in. So
Yes, sir.
thank you all for applying for this and what you'll be doing moving forward.
Yes, sir.
No other comments? I call on a motion to approve the memorandum of agreement.
Move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Belfield. Is there a second to that?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilkins. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
You gonna do item 13 as well?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, great. It's
Okay.
a SRO position request to be added to the Sheriff's Department that will be working with City High and Early College out at our community college. Please
Yes, sir.
Proceed, Major Moore.
So the Nash County Public School has requested via School Resource Officer Program Memorandum of Understanding an additional school resource officer for the early college, high school / city high school located at the Nash Community College campus. This is to request one position to bring our number to 10. It is anticipated that the current budget has been allocated for the 2024 to 2025 fiscal budget year will be sufficient for the remainder of the fiscal year.
Okay. Any questions on this item?
Yeah, I have one. Such things are happening in our school systems across the nation. Your resource officers, how are they stationed at each school? Are they in just one place, have an office, or they move around to make sure?
They
There
move
are areas where people can't come in from the back or wherever without, only enter in through the front.
No, sir, they're not stationed in one location. They move throughout the school.
They move
Yes, sir.
at all times, okay.
Yes, sir, they may be in school, outside, just depends.
And every now and then go outside and see
Yes,
what,
sir.
see,
Yes, sir.
that's probably not authorized to be.
That is correct.
be
It's not a sitting position, it is a moving position.
Okay.
Other questions?
Mr. Chairman, so they will only be covered through the end of the school year, June, I'm assuming?
I wouldn't know. Maybe Major Moore knows the answer to that. The question is it covered, you stated covered through this fiscal year, which is the end of June.
According, it's in line with our memorandum that we have.
Which would be the case with all of them. They're going to be re-upped annually at our budget time. And I did check, it is a reimbursable item. I mean, the money actually comes from the school system.
Yes, sir, that is correct. There's no cost to the county.
Right.
Thank you.
Other questions?
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
Mental health is an issue now everywhere.
Yes, sir.
And it's even down deep within our teenagers and even preteens. And you notice anything, if the resource officer notice anything of a student, do they report to who? If they-
Our school resource officers have a very intimate working relationship with the administration from the school board and the students and the staff on campus. So if they notice any issues, they do verbalize those concerns with the administration.
Okay.
I will say, in and out the schools sometimes myself, they seem to be, the SRO seems to be the most popular person at each one of our campuses, quite frankly.
They are.
I know he is at Northern
Yes.
Nash anyway.
They are. They are. The relationships that they develop with those students tend to be lifelong.
Yeah. Agree with that 100%. Any other questions? If not, I call for a motion for approval of this request.
So
Move
moved.
approval.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins, second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Thank you, Major
Thank you,
Moore, for
Commissioners,
being
for
here
your
this
time.
morning.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a 2024 Community Development Block Grant, Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Application. I'll call on Emily Moore at this time to make this presentation. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Let's see, 2024 Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Revitalization to start grant application public hearing. Nash County intends to submit an application for $950,000 for the Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Revitalization, CDBG-NR funds. The grant would be used to address housing needs, community needs, economic development needs, or other community development needs within the county. Any eligible need must address a national objective of low to moderate income or removal of slums and blight. The county will make good faith efforts to involve historically underutilized businesses and Section 3 individuals and businesses in execution of the program. Application intake for eligible households will be September 10th through 20th. Program goals are to rehabilitate deteriorated housing or replace dilapidated housing with new homes, with the primary focus on benefiting low and moderate income persons. Eligible houses must be owner-occupied, and total household income cannot exceed 80% of the county's median income. The Nash County low-income 80% threshold for a house of 4 is $58,650, according to the U.S. Department of HUD's fiscal year 2024 income limits summary. So our recommendation would be to hold the first public hearing so that we can receive comments on the application.
All right, any questions of Ms. Moore at this time? Seeing none, I'll call for a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett, is there a second?
Second.
Second, Commissioner Belfield. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in a public hearing involving the item that was just covered for the 2024 Community Development Block Grant. If there's someone here that wishes to speak or has questions about this item, we'd certainly like to hear from you. If you come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Anyone here wish to speak? Seeing no movement, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time.
Move to close the public hearing.
Motion made by Commissioner Belfield, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Outlaw. Questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Public hearing is now closed. Any action that we need to take at this time? It appears like we just hold the public hearing and then you'll be back later.
That's correct.
Okay. Item 14 is taken care of. We'll move to item 15, which is the 2023 Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Application. Ms. Moore?
Yes, so Nash County was awarded $950,000 for the 2023 Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Revitalization Program by the North Carolina Department of Commerce's Rural Economic Development Department. Per the CDBG-NR grant agreement and funding conditions, the county must adopt compliance plans and policies. There are 12 plans and policies that are or should be included in your packet. So the recommendation would be to approve the program compliance plans and policies for 2023 Community Development Block Grant Neighborhood Revitalization.
Any questions on this item? Seeing none, I call for a motion to approve the program compliance plan and policies.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Outlaw, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? That motion carries. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir, Ms. Belfield.
I just, while we're talking about housing and revitalization,
Yes, sir.
counties across the nation, I've read and heard, been in some sessions on it also, is affordable housing. Now, I know here in Nash County, we've been letting municipalities handle that. All of them are not into it. But basically, in our rural areas, I think the county ought to take a look at getting into affordable housing. It doesn't mean that the county has got to put up the money for those houses, but we can work with a bill. But I just think we ought to kind of set up maybe a program committee on affordable housing and move from there as to what we can do it. And it doesn't mean that the county build all these houses, but at least you can coordinate and get developers to build affordable houses.
Okay. If it's all right with you, what I'd like to do with your request is ask the manager first to set a time that you and I can meet with her and discuss your concerns and ideas on that, and then we'll move forward from that meeting.
Okay.
Be glad to.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Moore. Next item is number 16, the purchase of a 2018 Caterpillar Model 826K compactor. Mr. Boone?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Commissioner Davis, board members. As you likely read in your agenda packet, we experienced a fire at the landfill back in February 2014 that resulted in the loss of a 2012 Caterpillar compactor that we had at the landfill. And a lot of folks don't necessarily know what a compactor is. It's basically a large piece of equipment we use to spread and compact the equipment at the landfill to basically save airspace or reduce airspace in the landfill and maximize the life of our landfill. Based on that loss, staff evaluated replacement of the unit, and we determined that purchasing a new unit would likely cost the county north of $1 million. So as a result, we began to scour both vendors in the United States and also in Canada looking for used units, and we located a 2018 compactor in Florida. Had about 9,800 hours, and we arranged to rent that unit, to evaluate the unit, and determine if we wanted to purchase that unit. We have done that, and we would like to request that the board authorize the purchase of that unit. Because it is a used piece of equipment, we were not required to solicit competitive bidding as outlined in the North Carolina general statutes. Because of the scope of the purchase, we are asking for approval from the board to purchase that unit. So with that said, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions of Mr. Boone on this item? Does this funding come from the solid waste fund?
It does.
Fund, I guess, okay. Looking at the pictures that you provided, and just because of what I do for a living, we do pre-planning on large jobs now to be able to get emergencies, fire trucks particularly, to equipment on a site. Sometimes it's a difficult item. Did we have any issue getting response to where this was located at the time? Do you have?
We did not, and we attempted to extinguish the fire ourselves. Staff did. We exhausted our resources while we were waiting for response from the fire department, but the unit was too far gone by the time they arrived. But no, we did have a timely response, just unable to suppress the fire.
And they could get to the piece of equipment?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. All right, any other questions or comments? I call for a motion to approve the proposed purchase of the 2018 Caterpillar Model 826K compactor from UCM Incorporated.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Leggett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Combs. Questions on the motion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We'll move on to item number 17, which is a resolution declaring Nash County's intent to obligate North Carolina directed grant funds, state funds for certain water and/or wastewater infrastructure projects. Mr. Boone?
Yes, sir. During the state's work on the 2023 state budget, towards the end of that budget cycle, or work on the budget rather, Nash County received a number of directed grants. One of those was a grant for water and wastewater infrastructure projects in the amount of $17,022,501. Since the award of that grant, county staff had been working with Representative Alan Chesser and Senator Lisa Barnes regarding the allocation of these funds within the county. And as the legislation references Nash County as the recipient of those funds, we've been asked to adopt a resolution that designates the use of these funds and the subrecipients within the county. So included, actually passed out this morning, an amended resolution for your consideration. And there are 12 projects that have been listed, 6 of those within towns and cities within Nash County, and 6 of those projects will be county-owned projects. The subrecipients include the town of Whitakers, the town of Bailey, the town of Middlesex, the town of Spring Hope, the town of Nashville, and the city of Rocky Mount. And if you will indulge me, I'll not, unless you would like me to, I'm not going to read the entire resolution, but I had planned to read real quickly the list of projects. So for the town of Whitakers, we have $200,000, or recommending $200,000 for water and wastewater repairs and upgrades, and for the replacement of water meters and related appurtenances. For the town of Bailey, $750,000 for expansion of water and sewer services to include underserved and unserved areas within and adjacent to the town limits. For the town of Middlesex, $750,000 for wastewater and water repairs and upgrades. For the town of Spring Hope, $1 million to build a new 100,000-gallon elevated water tank and to add tank mixers to improve water quality to 2 existing elevated water tanks. For the town of Nashville, $1,500,000 for wastewater and water repairs and upgrades. For the city of Rocky Mount, $3 million for replacement of the Old Mill Road pump station. For Nash County, $7.8 million for water system improvements, water line extensions, and related appurtenances within the Central Nash Water Sewer District. Again, for Nash County, $75,000 for water quality improvement projects and water quality sampling stations in the Central Nash Water Sewer District and within the Castaic town limits. Again, for Nash County, $820,000 for the Dorchester Force Main Replacement and Lift Station Rehabilitation Project. Also in Nash County, $800,000 for procurement and installation of smart meters and a metered management system for the Northern Nash and Central Nash Water Sewer Districts. Also $70,000 in Nash County for a public utilities utility billing system upgrade. And finally, $235,000 in Nash County for Northern Nash Phase 2 Water System Improvement Project and the Central Nash Water Sewer District Groundwater Supply Well Project. At this point, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions of Mr. Boone on this item, Commissioner Leggett?
Mr. Chairman, I've got a question about the $7.8 million for Nash County. It says certain water system improvements, water line extensions in the Central Nash Water Sewer District. Does this include certain improvements that could strategically assist the municipalities out in our county, but it's not necessarily listed under their name?
Yes, so we're looking at interconnection with the town of Middlesex to provide backup water supply for the town, and we'll also be extending lines into the US 64 corridor for a future extension to the town of Spring Hope should they see the need for interconnection with Nash County.
Okay, thank you.
And we already have one for the town of Bailey. Interconnection. Other questions?
Yes, I notice here.
Mr. Belfield, Mr. Belfield, I think Mr. Arrington was speaking. Let me get him, then I'll come to you. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, I do. Well, It seems like part of my northern section of the county is not as favored as the southern part, but at the same time, the town of Whitaker's, getting a very small slice of this $17 million. And they have a lot of needs there. I talked with the chairman about this as far as equipment, backhoes and stuff to do some of those water breaks that they have. And I wish that we could have found a little bit more resources for at least the town of Whitaker, the town of Castalia, the county basically take care of their water, sewer, and that's my concern. And I hope we can, some kind of way, find funds to help the town of Whitaker out a little bit more.
Well, again, I just want to remind the board, this resolution addressed funds that the county received through the state. And there were a number of projects from each of these towns that will not even be funded through this allocation, but we did coordinate with Representative Chesser and Senator Barnes to allocate the funds that were provided. And it's my understanding that they will continue to look for opportunities to help provide funding, both for the county and for towns located within the county to address water and wastewater infrastructure-related projects.
Mr. Belfield.
My question is also the town of Whitaker. It's located in two counties, Nash and Edgecombe. Will any funds from Edgecombe County, whether it's coming from the state or what, will be involved in this project? I would think the town is going to replace the water meters that will be doing it over the entire town. And just have $200,000 here. And that's Nash County, I guess that's Nash County side. To me, it ought to be some coordination there where the entire town, if they're going to improve the water meters and all that, they ought to do it everywhere. And I was just wondering if Edgecombe County is involved in getting funds.
Mr. Belfield,
help the town on that, Whitaker.
Yeah. We got the total number, Mr. Boone did, of the water meters in the town of Whitaker, regardless of which county it was in. And it is the intent that these funds will replace all the water meters. It's coming from the state, not from Nash County. Therefore, we're really not paying attention to the county line.
Yeah, I know it's coming from the state, but Nash County requested it.
Well, we actually didn't request it. It came to us. But to answer your question, we're taking care of all water meters in the town of Whitaker, whether they're in Edgecombe or Nash.
Okay. Is that all they need? Just replacing water meters?
That covers replacing all water meters. They did have an additional grant that they have worked on that may assist in this, but even if that grant that come through, this is enough because we're doing it as a bulk. What we agreed to do in Nash County is to include it with our water meter purchases, and so by doing it in volume, we're able to save quite a bit of money. And yes, we have committed to do all the water meters in Whitaker. And actually, it's anticipated there may be some funds left over, which in mine and Mr. Arrington's discussion over the weekend, I made a commitment to him on behalf of the county that those funds would stay in Whitaker's, even if they didn't take them all. If the discussion that we had and some other things he had concerns about, we would look into and see if it was appropriate to use those funds for.
And just to build on what the chairman is saying, that's one of the reasons why I've amended the language in the resolution that you've received this morning to be a little bit broader than simply water meter replacement, because the town has received a number of grants in talking with the engineer that's in service of the town, McDavid and Associates. Actually, these funds would be used to replace the remaining water meters. The town of Whitaker has about 325 water customers. Most of the meters will actually be replaced through some other grants that they received These grant funds will be used to replace the remaining meters and to retrofit some of the new meters that they have purchased, that they have remote read capabilities. But I have amended the language in the resolution so that it can be broader than simply a meter replacement project, in anticipation that they may not need all that funding simply for meters.
Other questions? The one question I had, you just answered, was what was the change in the resolution? Because I'd studied the other one, and it's what you just stated.
Right.
Okay, I'm good with it. All right, there's no other questions. I call for, let me see how we handle this. What we got to do is approve the resolution and authorize it to be signed. So I'd entertain a motion to approve the resolution that's placed at your tables this morning.
Make a motion to approve the resolution and authorize the chair of the Board of Commissioners and clerk to the board to sign the resolution.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Combs. There's a second to that motion.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Boone. Next item would be item number 17, which is Central Nash Water Supply Well Drilling and Testing Contract Final Amendment Change Order.
Yes, sir. I have a final amending change order for you, again, on the Central Nash Water Supply Well Project. Commissioner may recall, this is a county-funded ARPA project where we are re-drilling and retesting several existing groundwater wells that exist on the NC-97 industrial, at the NC-97 industrial park. And during the course of completing this work, we encountered several issues that required the original scope of the contract to be modified. The most significant included site access and yield at the wells. And when I refer to yield at the wells, it's kind of a good news, bad news scenario. We found that the wells, the yield on the wells, so the amount of water that the wells could produce was much higher than originally anticipated, so we had to increase the size of the casing and the diameter of the wells during the drilling process. So the change order I have before you again is a final amending change order to increase the contract amount $71,872.91 for an amended contract amount of $218,672.91. That said, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions of Mr. Boone on this item? Good, Commissioner Leggett? All right, entertain a motion to approve the change order at this time.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins, there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carried as well. Item 19 is a Nash County Detention Facility addition and renovation change order. Mr. Boone?
Yes, sir. I look forward to the day I can bring you the final amending change order on this project, but until then, what we have before us today is change order 13 on the Nash County Detention Facility addition and renovation project. This particular change order addresses 11 different items on the project, the most significant of which includes an elimination of the exterior sally port that results in a credit of $54,753.78. The addition of a storage room inside the jail at a cost of $11,030.41, and the addition of security panels in the ceiling in several areas to better access the sprinkler system and overhead electrical components at a cost of $16,593.94. Approval of the change order would result in an amended contract amount of $18,704,274.40 and would not result in any change to the contract schedule. Again, the overall result of the change order with the credits and the additions is an increase of $3,765.07. That said, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you may have.
Questions of Mr. Boone? Mr. Boone, this Sally Port, what made us decide to eliminate that? At one time, it seemed to have quite a amount of importance put on it.
After further review of the design that was reviewed and approved as part of the project, the sheriff's office was concerned about access to the sheriff's office and also the physical site constraints associated with the design that was part of the project, and they wanted to expand the Sally Port. As we worked through that process, we ultimately determined that the best course of action at this point in time is just simply to remove the Sally Port.
Okay. I knew we were trying to expand it, and now we're removing it.
That is correct.
I don't. Okay, understood. Thank you.
And I will say, we recognize in the event that there would be a situation at the jail that we would need a large area that is secured. We have the large area now in the back of the jail that we did not have prior to the project.
Correct.
That has fencing and concertina wire that could be used for that purpose.
Everybody involved is blessed this, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, entertain a motion to approve the change order and authorize the county manager to execute the same.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Outlaw, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilkins. Questions on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Next item is item number 20, which we thank you ahead of time for Mr. Boone, and go ahead and make this presentation to the request.
Yes, sir. As the board will recall, our shell building project, we use the design build bridging process. As part of that process, the general statute requires the county to designate a design professional. So included in your agenda packet is a resolution that would designate myself as a design professional for that project. And I anticipate bringing a design contract to you at our next meeting in order to move forward with the site design on that project. But in the intervening time, we need to approve this resolution to designate the design professional for that project.
Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval of the resolution.
Make a motion, we adopt the resolution.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries as well.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. The monthly tax report, and I'll call on our new tax assessor at this time.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. It's my pleasure to give you the report for July 2024, the monthly report. In keeping with North Carolina General Statute 105-350-7, the tax collector will be providing a monthly report showing the amount of taxes collected and the efforts being made to collect taxes. This report is designed to keep the board current on activities in the tax collector's office. The report is for your information only and does not require approval. However, it's recommended that you accept the report so it can be noted in the minutes. With that being said, are there any questions?
Any questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you for the report, and we will accept it for the minutes. And I did notice in the statute, Mr. Attorney, it refers to the steps he is taking to encourage enforced payment of uncollected taxes. If the statute actually says that, we should probably ask our representatives to look into that, change that language under the current girl power that we now operate under the direction of our county manager. I don't think it's appropriate that the statute says he. If you could look into that for us, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Quite welcome, Madam Manager. Tax refunds.
Thank you. There are absolutely no refunds to consider this month. In compliance with North Carolina General Statute Article 27, 105-381, the tax collector will submit to the governing body for their approval a list of any and all tax refunds after legitimacy of the after the refund has been established. And again, there are no refunds to report this month.
Okay. No refunds. We thank you, ma'am. We have another item, Board of Equalization and Review, that should be called at 11 o'clock. I'll wait till that time to bring it back forward. If Madam Clerk, you'll help me remember that at 11 o'clock. All right, item number 24, thank you, ma'am, is Southern Nash Middle School Capital Project Ordinance, and I'll call on Mary Hagan to make this presentation to the board. Hogan, excuse me. I'll get that down pat. But I still call Mike Vince this morning on the telephone, but that's okay, too.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me. The first item on my agenda is February 24th. Nash County Public School Systems was awarded $40 million from the 2023-2024 Needs-Based Public School Capital Fund for the construction of a new Southern Nash Middle School. As part of the grant award, Nash County Commissioners agreed to provide a local match of $4 million to support the project. The total project is anticipated to cost $44 billion. The following ordinance is presented to establish the initial capital project budget for the Southern Nash Middle School construction project. I would ask for your approval.
Any questions on this item? It's just setting up the ordinance in place, so when we start having charges, we will have that happening before the charges take place, as I understand it.
Correct.
Okay. Entertain a motion to approve the capital project ordinance at this time.
Move for approval?
Moved by Commissioner Leggett. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Combs. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries, and I will give the board a very brief update on that particular item. At the past school board meeting last week, they did assign a steering committee to move forward with looking at land purchases for that, so I anticipate that to start moving, and very glad they did that, because I get nervous when we get grants, so we need to go ahead and start spending the money, because they can disappear sometimes if you don't be active on them, so that should be happening pretty soon. They assigned 3 school board members to work on that moving forward.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
have they identified the location of where they will build that school?
They have not, sir. That's what that steering committee was set up for, is to go ahead and identify that location and to attempt to purchase the site that they decide on.
That they moving backwards way.
Not really. You know, that's a school board
They should have
decision.
identified that before they even request these funds. Well,
Okay.
that's a backward move.
Respect your opinion,
Well,
sir.
but I hope it turns out to be okay. I'm not fighting the issue. I just seem like they already should know where the location and possibly what it would cost to get that property to locate that school.
Well, they have the general vicinity of what they want it located in, and of course.
I know the district, but I know the southern part of the county, but this should have already been done. They're asking for funds now.
All right, sir. Thank you for your comment. Let's see, we are now on item, did I get that motion? I took care of that, okay. North Carolina Railroad Company Build Ready Site Grant. Go ahead, Ms. Hogan.
Nash County was awarded $456,450 for the development of the Ammons Industrial Site in Middlesex. The NCRR formed this initiative to partner with local communities and railroads to increase the number of rail-served sites that are ready for development by a manufacturer or similar employer, boosting the opportunity for the community and job growth across the state. These funds can be used for preliminary engineering, design, and land preparation. Nash County intends to use these funds to partner with the town of Middlesex to extend the municipal water services to the site. This agreement was approved by this board on February 5th, 2024. The project will require additional funding from the county of $288,000. The following ordinance is presented to establish the initial capital budget project for the North Carolina Railroad Company Build Ready site. And I would ask for your approval.
Okay. Any questions on this item? Seeing none, I call for a motion to approve the project ordinance.
Make a motion we approve the project ordinance.
Motion by Commissioner Combs, there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilkins. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, by a like sign? Motion carries as well. Item number 26 is a stream flow rehab project grant, strap debris removal. Ms. Hogan?
This is actually a project closeout, so this is an easier one to talk about. The attached ordinance is presented to close out this project, the Stream Flow Rehab Project, also in many of my records referred to as the Strap Debris Removal Project. We will be doing more of this type of work. You'll hear me come back and ask for a new project not too long from now, but this one is completed and ready to be closed out.
All right, any questions on this item? Call for a motion to approve the capital project ordinance.
Move for approval.
Motion by Commissioner Leggett. Questions? Excuse me, a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Wilkins. Any questions on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries as well. One question, you mentioned future ones. Do you remember if any future ones are back on Stony Creek again?
I'm not familiar with that information.
Okay. If you could,
I can find that out for you.
We can get with Cole and
If you
see
get
what
with
the
Cole,
plans
let me-
are for the next one.
okay. I've got several citizens on Stony Creek that keep calling me about that over in the Rocky Mount area, so I'd like to respond back to them if we got more money coming for Stony Creek. Didn't mean to interrupt you, ma'am.
No.
Item number 27 is budget amendments. You do have quite a few of those, so you will proceed through those.
Thank you. The first one, this budget amendment makes funds available for asset forfeiture fund balance and insurance proceeds to replace some totaled vehicles.
What we generally do is we'll go ahead and let you go through them all, and if any of them need to be approved individually, you let us know, or if we want to do one individually, we'll let you know.
Okay, that makes great sense.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
I
you,
wasn't
ma'am.
certain, thanks. Then the second one, reappropriate unspent FY22 and FY23 emergency management performance grant funds received from outside sources. We're just reappropriating them to the fund balance. The third one, this budget amendment is to budget American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA administrative expenses to be paid through the Finance Office for the period of January through June of 2025. The changes in the budgeting from the ARPA fund to the general fund is due to the ARPA encumbrance and reporting requirements effective December 2024. The next one, water sewer funds. This budget amendment is to budget fund balance appropriations to cover the replacement of two 14-horsepower pumps at the Browntown Road lift station. The next one, this budget amendment is to budget funding available from the transfer of ARPA interest funds approved by the board in August to purchase a bypass pump. Number 6, this budget amendment is to budget additional state funding for the Women, Infants, and Children program from FY 24-25 due to an increase in the per participant rate. These funds will be used to support efforts to increase our participation rate in our local WIC agency. The next one is reappropriate unspent 2023 and 2024 funds awarded to the NCDPH from the CDC to meet the short-term critical infrastructure needs and to make strategic investments which will have lasting effects on local public health departments in North Carolina. Parks and Rec. This budget amendment is to budget a grant received from the North Carolina Youth Outdoor Engagement Commission, Youth Sports Grant, to purchase new batting cages. Senior Services. This budget amendment is to reflect the final HCCBG grant funds amounts for the FY 24-25 budget. No additional county dollars are needed. The Sheriff. This budget amended is to budget medication-assisted treatment grant proceeds from the NC Department of Public Safety for inmates in the Nash County Detention Center. Public Buildings. This budget amendment is to budget fund balance appropriations for pre-construction costs to be reimbursed with debt financing. Social Services. This budget amendment is to budget federal and state funds to cover the cost for 3 attendees of the National Independent Living Conference 2024. No county funds are required. And that will be it.
All right, you have 12 budget amendments there. Or any questions about any of those you'd like to ask Ms. Hogan at this time?
What was number 11? What's that appropriation? What building is that? Maybe John?
Mr. Boone, that's the...
Yes, a number of projects that we discussed during our budgeting process that we're looking at bank financing for, which would include a roof on this building, some renovations and repairs to the courthouse, expansion of the senior center, potentially renovation at Nash Arts, so we decided to move forward with that project. And, excuse me?
Med Park.
And renovation of the Med Park building. Thank you, ma'am.
I had the list.
Okay.
So Ms. Blake, do you have any questions on? Are you good? So the fact it mentions the word equipment, it really is not equipment. It's just overall cost that we are incurring presently that we're going to do with financing at a later point once we determine all the costs.
Correct. This would allow us to be reimbursed for these expenses, and this would provide for the engineering, bidding, so we could get hard numbers to move forward with the bank financing on these projects.
Okay. The budget, the boiler replacement for this building, have we got it in the current year's budget, or we keep it?
No, sir, we decided to take a wait-and-see approach.
Okay. I thought that's what it might be, but, okay. Cool. Any questions on any of the 12 budget amendments? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval at this time.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the 12 budget amendments.
Have a motion by Commissioner Wilkins. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries as well. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next item is number 28, which is board appointments, and I'll call on our Assistant County Manager, Tia, at this time. There you are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we
Always
have,
smiling.
yeah, I am. We have 3 boards to present this morning. So first is the ABC Board. Unfortunately, the ABC Board Chair, Mr. Kenneth Gilliam, passed away on August 13, 2024. The ABC Board has voted to appoint Ms. Jacqueline M. Lewis as the new ABC Board Chair for the remainder of the 24-25 term. The ABC Board is requesting your approval of Ms. Lewis's appointment.
Any questions on that item? We'll take them individually. Seeing none, I entertain a motion to concur with the ABC Board's wish to appoint Ms. Lewis as the Chair of the ABC Board.
Move for approval.
Have a motion by Commissioner Leggett. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconds by Wilkins and Belfield at the same time. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries, and I'm sure Ms. Lewis will do us a great job.
Thank you.
Go ahead, ma'am.
With the passing of Mr. Gilliam, there's now 1 vacancy on the ABC Board. Please consider the new appointment of Carmen B. Hicks to serve on the Nash County ABC Board. Ms. Hicks's application is in your packet for review. Carmen Hicks is willing, eligible, and recommended for appointment.
Any questions on this item? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Outlaw. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on this item? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries as well. Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
Commissioners. Next, we have the Spring Hope Planning Board. At their September meeting, the Spring Hope Planning Board revised their membership. Per the ordinance, Garfield Mills, the ETJ member, was nominated to serve on the planning board. They respectfully request that the Nash County Commissioners consider reappointing Mr. Mills.
Give me 1 second on that one. Okay. Any questions on this item? I read it different the first time I read it, but I understand what we're doing now. Entertain a motion for approval at this time.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion by Commissioner Combs. There a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign. Motion carries as well.
Thank you. And last, we are looking at the Nash Healthcare Systems Board of Commissioners. The Nash County Commissioners are asked to provide Nash Healthcare Systems with 2 recommendations for their Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Districts number 2 and number 3 have been identified as priority areas to ensure balanced representation on the Nash Healthcare Systems Board. It is suggested that Mr. Dan Cohn be recommended to represent District 3, given that he is concluding his term on the Board of Commissioners. Representing Commissioner District number 2, Dr. Thomas Akers, I'm not sure if I've pronounced that correctly, has been recommended. Thomas Akers is a doctor of optometry at the Eye Care Center Rocky Mount. Please consider these 2 recommendations to the Nash Healthcare Systems Board of Commissioners.
All right, I just want to make sure we're clear that the way these hospital appointments work, they actually come from the hospital to us, and then we concur with them or ask them to give us different names. We have been working with the hospital board the last 3 or 4 years, trying to do this simultaneously and work together on the front end rather than the back end, and quite frankly, very pleased that that's where we are today, in that they gave us a list of names that they were considering and asked us to chime in on it. So what we're doing is certainly not appointing these members to the hospital board. We're just letting the hospital know who we would like to see put in those spots that are underserved at this time by commissioner districts. So what will happen, if we concur with this recommendation, it will go to the hospital board, and then we would see it, these 2 names or some names coming forward that we would actually be voting on. Mr. Attorney, I hope I properly stated that.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, all right, so that's where we're at. Any questions on this particular item or these appointments, potential appointments, I should say? Entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Move approval.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins, second by Commissioner Belfield. Questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to keep moving if everybody's okay, and then we'll take a recess and come back at 11 o'clock. But at this time, we're on commissioner comments. Any commissioner have any comments to like to make at this time for the betterment of the board?
Mr. Chairman, just mentioned for our September 23rd meeting, which starts at 1:30, we'll have 2 presentations. One of them will be related to EMS operations. I believe all towns and the city of Rocky Mount will be invited to attend that meeting.
All elected officials, yes, sir.
Yes. And they'll give us an overview of staffing, response times, operations, et cetera. Number 2 presentation will be the Med Park building on the hospital campus. Mr. Hill and Ms. Lord will give us a presentation regarding the consolidation and relocation of our health department. Thank you.
Other commissioners with comments?
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Wilkins.
I just wanted to say, and I am so happy, I applied for and was selected to participate in the North Carolina Rural Center's Homegrown Leaders Training, which is happening this week. It's a 3-day regional leadership and community economic development training that equips leaders with the skills needed to plan for addressing long-term and sustainable economic health in our counties and in our state. So I'm looking forward to it. It looks like there are about 20 people that will be in that class, and I will be one of them from Nash County, the only one from Nash County. Also, I attended the 117th North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Conference in Winston-Salem, went to a few seminars on housing and demystifying AI, and ending criminalization of mental illness. It was a very good seminar that was from the conference was from the 8th through the 10th. So got a lot out of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilkins, and thank you for taking your 3 days to attend that particular school. It's in Kinston, do I remember that right? Any other comments by commissioners? Commissioner Belfield?
Oh, I also attended the state conference, county commissioners, and I attended the session on affordable housing.
Yes, sir.
And there were several others I attended, but I really concentrated on that particular one. And counties, as I said earlier, counties are getting into looking at affordable housing. In fact, the National Association, they had sessions on it also. And they had one of the counties, I don't recall what state it was from right now, but anyway, they gave a presentation on what they are doing in the area of affordable housing. So it's being brought to attention of counties on taking a look at affordable housing.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Leggett.
I'll be brief. I also attended our NCACC annual conference in Winston-Salem. It was a very robust program. One thing that was discussed at length was the generations of people that we serve as a county and the differences in those generations and how we need to change over time to serve them and identify their needs. So that was really a learning moment there and trying to just look into the future and how we need to adapt. So thank you.
No doubt it is changing generations coming behind many of us. Yes, ma'am. Other comments? Even though I got criticized for doing a housing report, I'm going to do it again, and it's not all I'm interested in, but I do think it's important to keep track of this. We were very slow in the commercial building last month in that we only issued $163,000 worth of permits, or value worth of permits. On the commercial side, I sure would hope that would pick up, and that would be commercial or industrial. We were still very robust in the housing side in that we had 64 new home permits that were issued in Nash County. 58 of those were stick-built homes. 6 of them were a type of modular home. And quite frankly, again, they were scattered throughout the county, from the north end to the south end, and they involved 19 different builders. So the home business in Nash County is still real robust and doesn't show any signs of slowing down too much at the present time. But that's the only thing I would add, and at this time, we'll move to item number 30, which is the manager's report, and I'll call on our manager, Stacey Satzler, to make her report.
Thank you. Last month, I reported that several of us would be attending the NCACC annual conference. Unfortunate for me and many other managers, we stayed back to keep an eye on Debbie, which was started as a hurricane and turned into a tropical storm. Thankfully, Nash County was spared any reportable damage. I want to thank Trip Bunn and his team for the great communications and preparations. They were staged and ready to respond. I want to thank him for his leadership during that event. And we are pushing forward with the recruitment efforts for the Sheriff's Office and Emergency Medical Services with a media campaign that includes digital media as well as radio spots. I think I heard a radio spot, but did I hear it in my office or out in the public? The radio spots have started.
I'm not sure where you heard it.
I think the radio spots have started, so you may have heard one of those. But we're excited about this recruitment push and the efforts that we're putting into that. And currently, the Sheriff's Office is reporting 10 vacancies, with 3 of those potentially being filled by BLET graduates soon, and EMS is reporting 12 vacancies. Tia Fula has completed 5 community conversations that were scheduled through the summer months. She's currently working with our communications team to create content for our website and social media to summarize the data received, and will make a presentation to the board at the September 23rd meeting to share those results with this board. And this month, on September the 25th, we will host a comprehensive management team training to cover all of our internal services such as finance, HR, legal, IT, communications, facilities, and security. So we're really excited about pulling the management team together and being able to offer this comprehensive training with so many new members on board with us. And we do have a new Veteran Service Officer that will start September the 24th, and that will make our Veterans Services fully staffed. We will make a point of bringing him before the board at the October meeting so that you can meet him. And the last thing that I have is that we are ready to identify a date for the commemorative courtyard with the recognition of Judge Sumner and Barbara Sasser. And if you would, please take a look at your calendars. And let's start with either October the 8th, which is a Tuesday after our Monday meeting for October, or Monday, October the 14th, and we're looking at 11 a.m. For a dedication ceremony. Does anybody have any conflicts for Tuesday, the 8th?
I don't, no, I'm good.
At what time?
11?
11. I rushed out of my car and left my calendar in there. Left my iPad too. I really don't know right now. But when we take a break, I'll go get my calendar out.
Okay.
Well, let's set that date tentatively until Mr. Belfield comes back with his calendar.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, and that's all.
You must have come in on two wheels in the parking lot, Mr. Belfield.
No, I was running late and left home. There's a lot of things I had to do at home before I get away.
I fully understand that, sir.
So, rushed out, left my phone, well, I have my iPad that's in the car.
Yep.
But my calendar also. I'll get it when we have a break, and I'll know.
Everything's good, sir. Sure is. Go ahead, Madam Manager.
And that's all I have.
Okay. Any questions on the manager's report, anything that she spoke of?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, ma'am.
the Veteran Services Officer, that is not the Veteran Services Director. We still have the same director, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the only other thing, I was hoping to get more clarification on the Emergency Services Director position. I am of a strong opinion that this position should be filled, as Chief Bass said. And I would ask that my fellow commissioners consider directing the county manager to fill this position unless there's some underlying reason why it shouldn't be filled that I don't know about. This is very critical. Everyone needs a leader. The Emergency Services Department definitely needs a leader, as evidenced when the tornado hit us, and the state needs someone to go to. We need someone in that director position. So I encourage the county manager, and I encourage my fellow commissioners to support filling that position.
Commissioner Wilkins, you stated two things there. The last one sounded better. I think it's our position in this particular thing. You used the word directed one time, then you moved on to encourage. I hope you mean encourage. Is that what we're saying?
I'm saying encourage, but if that does not happen, I would ask that this board direct the county manager to fill that position.
Okay. All right. Well, let's
And we can
work
take
on
it offline,
Let's
Mr.
work
Chairman.
on encourage at this time and let the manager and her staff do her job. If you're willing to do that, I would not want to have to force it to a vote to direct her. That's not generally how we operate. That's a manager's job to do that, but I feel certain she will be back in touch with us in an appropriate amount of time.
Yeah, I would not like to force a vote either, but considering the situation in our county right now, I think it's much needed. Thank you.
Okay. Other comments on the manager's report?
Well, I would just back up what Commissioner Wilkins said, this is something that's very near and dear to me as well, and it's something that's a priority. I don't want us to wait until there's something bad happens to refill this, and we're not, as Chief Bass said in his letter, we're not only without one director, but we're without basically two. Not only do we not have an emergency services director, we don't have the assistant or the deputy that has traditionally been there. So I think it's very important.
Thank you, Commissioner Leggett. Other comments from the manager's report?
Yeah, I support what Commissioner Wilkins and Commissioner Legacy said.
Thank you, Mr. Belfield. If there's nothing else, I'm going to entertain a motion for a short recess and reconvene at 11 o'clock, which is the time we will have the Board of Equalization and Review. We finished everything else on the agenda. We will do that at that time, and then we will call for a closed session at that time. So entertain do I ask for a motion for recess? And I don't think I do that, do it? Okay. We stand recessed until 11 a.m. Thank you. Board of Commissioners meeting for September the 9th back to order at this time. And we're going to move to item number, which item number is it?
11.
11,
20.
thank you.
23. No, 23. 23.
23. Anything else? Item number 23 is the, at this time, recess the Board of Commissioners meeting and call the Board of Equalization and Review for Nash County to order at this time. And I would ask if the tax assessor has anything to present to us. There you are, looking over there somewhere. Do you have any additional appeals to present before the Equalization and Board of Review at this time?
Oh, no, sir, we do not.
You do not, okay.
But in accordance with North Carolina General Statute 105-322, the Nash County Board of Equalization Review will meet to hear formal appeals timely filed from any and all taxpayers who own and control taxable property assessed for taxation in Nash County with respect to the valuation of such property.
Okay.
We have none before you at this time, so we can move to option 2 on your general order of business.
Okay.
Which, if there are no appeals docketed with the tax office or after hearing any appeals that have been on the docket, 1, the chair asks if there's anyone present who wishes to have an appeal heard.
Okay. All right, is there anyone in the audience that is here for the purpose of having an appeal heard? Anybody on the commissioners have appeal they want heard? Seeing none, option 2.
If no one comes forward, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn the 2024 Board of Equalization and Review for the purposes of accepting any new appeals.
All right, I'd entertain a motion at this time to close the Board of Equalization and Review for the current year we are in for any additional appeals.
So moved.
I guess my next step would be, do I close it to a time specific in next year, or how do we handle that part of it? So our
Okay.
citizens will know they do have opportunity at a new time after what point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we would adjourn today for the Board of Equalization and Review for 2024.
Okay.
And it will open again next year because citizens do have the opportunity to appeal their value every year. And that will be notified in, per the, obviously, the meeting, and we will publish that information in the local paper and on the website.
Does it operate by fiscal year or our fiscal year or by calendar year?
That's a great question. It's a calendar year as far as the value is concerned,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, all right. All right, I entertain a motion at this time to close the Equalization, Board of Equalization and Review for 2024, and it would open back up in the year 2025.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wilkins. Is there a second to that motion?
Second?
Second by Commissioner Leggett. Questions on the motion? And just to make it clear for our citizens, we will be closing up the Equalization and Review. At this time, I had numerous calls over the weekend about appeals, but we'll have an opportunity this coming year, and I did gather a little information about that, and of course, the value is set. But if you see something from a clerical standpoint that was wrong with your evaluation, you can certainly bring it to the staff at any time, and it would be addressed.
Yes, sir.
But that said, all in favor of the motion as stated, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Motion carries. Thank you,
Wonderful.
ma'am.
And then you just need to adjourn the hearing, sir.
I did not adjourn the hearing, you're correct. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time, or the, not a public hearing, but the hearing of Board of Equalization and Review.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Outlaw, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Combs, Aaronson, and that would be enough, two of you. All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? Hearing is now closed, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else the commissioner has to bring before the board at this time before I call for a closed session? All right, I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session for the purposes of economic development, a personnel matter, and attorney-client privileges, and we will also be getting updated on a couple of pending lawsuits. The lawsuits would include one by Bradbury versus Pitt County Memorial Hospital, Hamlet and Elliott, and also would include a lawsuit concerning Ford versus Stone, Bryant, McLaughlin, Marks, Tony, Smith, Miller, Wilson, and if somebody can help me with that name, Vince, or I'll just say it appears like it's McCroskey, thank you. But those are the two lawsuits that we will be getting a update on. So I'd entertain a motion to go into closed session for those purposes at this time.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wilkins, is there a second?
Second.
Questions on the motion? All in favor of the motion, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed by a like sign? We stand in closed session, and we will reconvene in